YouTube fam, Jay Sinister, back for JSP and this SCX10 Jeep Gladiator, and this is part 3 in this series of upgrades that we're doing to the vehicle. We're going to go over what we're going to do today, show you what we have to do to prep it, what tools and materials we're going to use, and also we're going to talk about the giveaway, which I'll link a card up right about now, so you can see how to enter the giveaway for a few items that we'll talk about again. So without any further ado, before we move further, you know what we have to do, and that is to roll that intro footage. Welcome back to yet another video in this SCX10 Jeep Gladiator upgrade series. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for coming back. We appreciate all of you. Thanks for subscribing to all our new subscribers, and for our subscribers who has been with us since day one, thank you as well. And yo, check it. Hey, if you have not subscribed to this channel yet, get in while we're small. You know, subscribe now. It's free, doesn't cost you anything, and all you gotta do is click a button. So like the video, share the video, and subscribe to this channel. Also, as I stated before, we're doing a giveaway. And as you can see, I've got aftermarket wheels and tires on the Gladiator. And what I did was I removed the stock wheels and tires from the Gladiator to give it a little bit different look. And I have no need for this set of 4 pre-mounted, never used, never touched the ground, road, or dirt wheels and tires, along with all the hardware to mount it up to your vehicle, which includes the nylon lock nuts and the center cap covers for each wheel and tire, as well as we're going to throw in a few of these Jay Sinister production stickers for your sticker collection if you want to. So if you want to enter to win these for free, I suggest you check out my previous video, popping another card up now, so you'll know how to enter into the contest. It's a 30-day contest, and it's really simple. All you have to do is be subscribed to the channel, number 1, and number 2, leave a comment on the particular video in which we first announced the giveaway. So check that out. It's free. We already did one giveaway, and the individual received their items. There's no strings attached. We get your address, we send it to you, we shred your address. You'll never hear from us again unless you enter into another free giveaway, which we have another item that we're going to be giving away soon. So stay tuned. More details about that in another video in the future. But let's get into this video. So today, again, we're looking at the SCX10 and what we're going to be looking at with this vehicle this time is the actual body. So I've already removed the body clip, so let's just take the body off and set the chassis to the side. So the chassis is to the side, and we're going to focus on the body. And what we're really focusing on is the hood and some of the pillars of the vehicle. And what we're going to do today, it looks good stock. I mean, I do like the color of this is spot on, banging. But what we're going to do is we're going to take this top portion of the vehicle, all right, and we're going to lay a coat of paint down on it, which we're going to use right here. And I've got some left over. Some of this Duplicolor bed armor, spray-in bed liner. I've used this before on another Jeep, and it works well. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to tape off everything and lay paper down over everything that we don't want to get any of this bed liner on. And we're going to probably, what we have to do, so we're painting the outside of Lexan. All right, Lexan is meant to be painted on the inside because of the fact that if you paint on the outside, paint chips, dings, and dents. On the inside, you might scratch up the outside Lexan, but it's still going to look good with the color through, and regular Lexan paint won't stand up to those rigors. So what we're going to do in order to get this to adhere and look decent outside of taping it up, we're probably going to hit it with a coat of just regular primer, all right? And then we'll go behind that primer, and I've got some, this is some gunmetal Tamiya polycarbonate, and what I may do, all right, this is a PS-23 gunmetal, and it's close in color to what's on the vehicle already. So what I'm probably going to do first, instead of using the primer right here, I'm going to hit it with this Tamiya PS-23 gunmetal, which as you know, for Lexan paints, if you're using Tamiya colors, you want to use the PS series. This will act as a primer because it's made specifically for Lexan. So I may pop it with some Tamiya PS-23 gunmetal as a primer. Light coats, a few light coats to give it the paint something to adhere to. Then I may slap some of this regular Krylon Colormaxx Primer on top of that. May not, don't know yet. And then once I get all that down and let it dry, then I'll pop this Duplicolor bed armor on it as a final, well, second to last stage of paint. And then as a last resort, I may go ahead and use some of this Mr. Super Clear to kind of, and this is a matte finish clear, to dull everything down even more, to give it even more real and stock appearance. I don't want anything too shiny because I want this top, all right, I want this top to stand out from the rest of the vehicle. So as you can see now, the whole vehicle is shiny. We got some light here. Well, I want this top to look like a hard top and have a more rough textured appearance. So that's what we're going to do today. So I'm going to lay out the tape lines, and before that, hit it with a little alcohol to get any of my fingerprints and oils off of it, lay out my tape lines, tape down everything, paper everything else, tape it down nice and tight, then take it out to the paint booth and paint it. So this may be a 2-day affair because I like to let my paints dry well before I go to the next coat and before I remove the tape. So we may come back, I may have a different shirt on because I may come back tomorrow, no big deal. But that's what we're going to be doing today. About to hit the paint booth. Just wanted to show you how everything is taped up. This is a 3-piece system. The body's 3 pieces. And I've removed the bed and the bed liner from the body so I could easily mask off everything. Here's the bed liner. It's going to get some of that armor-coated Duplicolor bed liner spray in it. So removing that makes it easier to get the lines correct and only get the portions painted that you want it painted. And then here's the actual cab of the vehicle. I've got it taped off just around the spots on the rear of the cab where the hard top, if it was removable, or you know, the pieces that can be removed, are going to be hit with a spray, a shot of that Duplicolor armor. So that's what we're going to do next. I'm going to hit it with some alcohol again to get some more of the fingerprints off from the tape job. But everything's taped up, you know, decently, so no overspray gets anywhere. Although there's going to be some bleed. There's always some paint bleed no matter what you do. But next step, a little alcohol, a little extra prep. Then we hit the spray booth, hit it with a shot of that primer Duplicolor. Then when we come back, put it all together and give you a quick overview of how everything went and how she looks. So stay tuned. Let's get it. Day 2, everything is sprayed and laid. I haven't removed any of the tape or the paper. I wanted to show you what it looks like before we move over to the bench and reassemble the body for the SCX10 Gladiator. But we've got all the spray on bed liner. As you can see, it gives it a nice little texture. The appearance of the, you know, the real deal bed liner. So that's good laid on for the bed. And then for the hard top of the Jeep body, we've got it all on, sprayed. Lines look good so far. We haven't peeled off any tape. But when we do, we'll see exactly how it turned out. But I think it's going to turn out really nice. And even though it's a dark, you know, the vehicle is gray, it's still going to give it a nice contrast between the gray of the vehicle and now we got the black hardtop with the textured finish. Move over to the bench and then reassemble it with some music, some dope beats. Then we'll get back and take a final look at how everything looks together. And we are finished. We are all done. Got the SCX10 Jeep Gladiator all put back together. Hopefully you saw from the musical part of the video how everything looked, but we'll give you a quick close-up again. The bed liner that I sprayed on the hard top of the Jeep Gladiator turned out very nice, as well as the application in the bed, and I'll give you another quick close-up of that. Now you can't tell the difference that much until you get up on it, the difference in color and texture, but that's fine. That's what I want. I want to keep this as ominous and as sinister as possible, but still keep the detail of the Jeep so that you don't miss much, but things will give you the opportunity to take a second look because you're like, hey, that's, you know what, that I can't really see that, but that's pretty cool. So overall, this was a simple process. Anybody can do it. But again, as I've said in previous videos, you must take your time. So most of your time is going to be consumed in the prep work, the taping and the papering of the vehicle. I over-taped and over-papered. And as you saw, I had used some automotive pinstriping tape. I believe that's right. It may not be pinstriping, but I have an automotive grade tape that's very thin and comes in different widths that I use. And first, before I start taping off for the coverage, I do a tape line as close to where I want the application of paint to stop before the original paint starts. So I put that there first, so I get a nice straight line. Then I come back with some of that Tamiya yellow tape and go back over that so I can ensure that it's sealed. And then anything that's a wide area, like the front of the cab, which I was not going to be painting, the full front, I just use some paper that I got at, I believe, Lowe's or Home Depot. It's packing paper. You can find it anywhere. It's pretty cheap, comes in a roll. You have a whole bunch of it. And that packing paper will allow you to cover up large areas of your project without having to use so much tape. So invest in that if you haven't got any of that packing paper. Again, you can find it at Lowe's and at Home Depot. It's thin, easy to cut, goes around corners and curves easily, and again, it'll cover large areas without having to use a lot of tape. So in order to get this paint process to work, as you know, this is the outside of the vehicle. I'm not painting the inside. This is the outside of the body that I painted. So in order to do that, this is Lexan, so you have to use some sort of primer. So I use what I consider a two-stage primer. So the first thing I used was some of this. I had some gunmetal right here, PS-23. Hopefully you can see that. PS-23 gunmetal polycarbonate Lexan paint from Tamiya. I used that as the first stage of my primer. Why? Because this paint is made for polycarbonate Lexan bodies. So I hit it with this first, okay? It's not a primer, but I'm using it as a primer since I'm on the outside of the vehicle. After that, I hit it with some regular Krylon outdoor gray primer that I had laying around. You can use any color primer you want, but I had this gray, so I'm going to use it. So hit it with the PS-23 first, then came behind it with some primer, actual primer, second. Good coverage, light coats. Remember, light coats is your friend. You don't want to get it too thick. So a few light coats of this Tamiya, few light coats of this Krylon primer. Put these over here. Then after I let the primer set, I hit it with the bed armor, the Duplicolor bed armor. Now again, light coats. You must do light coats. You don't want to go too thick, too soon, too early, because it's going to end up being terrible. This paint is made to come out, I will say, splotchy. All right, that gives it the textured look and feel. So it's got to be splotchy. So several light coats, not too thick. So to rehash, we start out with a two-stage prime. All right, Tamiya PS-23. This is just what I had laying around. You can use any darker or any color polycarbonate paint for the outside. Bam, first stage primer. Krylon Colormaxx gray primer, second stage primer. Done. Let it dry. Come back for your actual painting, whatever you're going to use on the outside. In this case, for the bed and the hardtop, Duplicolor bed armor. I've used this for this is like the second or third vehicle. One can's lasted me a long time. Put it on light, because if you don't, and also ensure that you continuously clean your nozzle, because it's going to get gummed up. Continuously clean the nozzle so you get a nice spray. And always test spray on another surface before you start painting. So bed armor, Duplicolor. And last but not least, even though I didn't have to, I hit it with some of this Mr. Super Clear matte clear paint. And that just went over the top of everything to dull it down a little bit more. Not necessary. You do not have to do this. Not necessary. I chose to. So we have a 2-stage prime. No, they're out of shot. 2-stage primer. 1, 2. This is the first stage. 3 for the Duplicolor. This is the third stage of the paint process. And last but not least, it's the optional stage, Mr. Super Clear. Not cheap. If you get some, use it sparingly. You don't need a lot. As long as it dulls it down, it's going to spray on kind of shiny, but it will dry dull. That's what you want. This is the matte, Mr. Super Clear. I'll leave links to all these down below if you choose to get them, or I'll leave links to similar products if they're not available at this time. So that is it, folks. That is everything in a nutshell. We are finished with another small minor upgrade, purely cosmetic upgrade to the SCX10 Gladiator. I think it turned out really nice. It's subtle, but it also gives the ability for my vehicle to stand out from the crowd. And that's what I like to do. So we're at the end. Thanks a lot for sticking around. Don't forget, as I stated in the beginning, we're doing the giveaway for a set of 4 OEM factory wheels and tires. These are Nitto licensed Trail Grappler MT tires, and the wheels, I'm not sure the manufacturer of the wheel, KMC. These are KMC wheels, pre-mounted, ready to go. I'm not using them. I took them off, plus the hardware. Okay. And we'll throw in some J Sinister Productions stickers. One winner will be chosen. I'm going to pop a card up here if I don't forget, but go back to a previous video where we talk about what you need to do. And in that video is where you have to, number 1, be subscribed, and number 2, leave a comment. Comments down below for this video will not count towards the giveaway. It is the previous video where we talk about this giveaway where those comments will count. But subscriptions are the number 1 key that gets you in the first door to be eligible to win this wheel and tire set. All we'll need from you outside of the subscription and the comment is your address when we randomly choose a winner. And that will be around the first week of December is when we'll choose that winner. So we're letting this run for about 30 days. So the first week of December, we'll make an announcement that, and probably in a video that we may post prior to that on another subject or whatever, but we will make an announcement on our Instagram page. So if you haven't followed my Instagram, check my Instagram out. It is sinister_RC. That is SINISTA_RC. So fam, we're at the end. We have some more upgrades to do to the vehicle, a few more cosmetic, a few more mechanical, not too much when you electrical, although we're going to redo some of the lighting on it and add some different lights, so on and so forth. Also, just another hint, you may have saw in the previous video where I talked about, if you want your wheels to have, you put the holes in them if you choose to, punch some holes in them, and you want your wheels to be able to deflate a bit. Well, what I'm going to also do, because the stock foam that comes with these wheels and tires, it's kind of weak. All right, it's going to work, but I have some more foam that's coming in that I'm going to replace, so the tires will not be as squishy, but they'll be squishy enough to give that grip. That grip if you're going over some rocks and obstacles for you to be able to go up and over with little to no problem. So fam, thanks a lot. Really appreciate you sticking by. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, to close out all my videos, I am Jay of J Sinister Productions, exiting stage left.
Sinister Production.